Alrighty, so we got this in the garage now. Beautiful 2008 Audi A4 2-liter Quattro. It's pretty much just in here for basic maintenance. Timing belt. And he was complaining there's some oil on what I believe is cylinder 1. So we're going to be changing the valve cover gasket and all the timing components. So like with every car I do a preliminary. And right now we got some weird ones. There's no lights on the dash, but we got cylinder 4, which should be all the way in the back. And then I know he changed his battery, and he also said the door locks now don't work with the fob. So that might be some bonus footage in the end, trying to get those to work again. We'll see what happens with that. But for now, this is what we got. So we're gonna clear them out. And this car has so many modules in it, it took 7.5 minutes to scan the whole car. Pretty crazy, but we have parts on order, and we're just gonna get started with it. We're gonna raise the car up in the air. Everything with these are in the front, so we got to get it into what Audi, Volkswagen call service mode, which means pretty much ripping out this whole front end. And I'll take you along for the ride there, and we'll do it up. I can already see that, you know, we're gonna have to put band clamps in, because this for the valve cover, these gotta go. You know, they're the one-time users, so they're gonna have to go. And this car only has literally 100,000 miles on it, so yeah, it's very clean. The customer taking great care of it, so we'll get started once we're prepped up in the air and ready to rock and roll here. Alright guys, so we got the hood up. I already removed the snorkel. It was 2 Phillips head screws right here. It's peeling an onion. That's pretty much what it is. We gotta remove everything because we have no room to. She's a tight girl. So we need to gain access. We need to get this whole thing forward. And as Audi has it, it's called their service mode. So, like peeling an onion, you know, you just want to grab one side and we just want to start. I'm going to hold this side up. Peel everything back. Watch the bumper. You don't want to scratch it. And that's that. Now, obviously on camera that looked stupid easy, but in real life, guys, there's a lot of screws. You know, we put them in Ziploc bags. We marked our bags to make sure we don't confuse anything. The most critical part are these 2 10mm nuts that are going to be on each side. So you want to remove those on each side, and now we can remove our harness here. So that's a cliff note. I mean, this whole thing's a cliff note. Honestly, I didn't think it was going to come off that easy. If it doesn't pop off that easy, look for more screws. with this being said, our belly pan, I removed it and it's back there. The belly pan obviously being under here. That came off really easy. Just a couple screws and a couple like quick flat blade guys. Not a big deal. The next up is removing this crash bar here. Yep, it's right there. It's one of those triple square 10s. I want to say, I believe it's a 10. We're going to remove that, and then we're going to remove the mounting part, which is back there. We're just peeling this onion back, because then eventually we're going to undo these 2 bolts and these 2 bolts, and it'll bring the whole thing forward enough for us to get our hands easier within. So I don't know. I mean, this is the first time popping the hood. Let me try and get my flash going. Another customer complaint was you see the oil mess here, and then I believe it's all valve cover related, because there's an oil mess. There's wetness down there too. So I believe, like I said in the first part of the video, we're changing the valve cover gasket, changing the PCV valve, and we'll see how this thing does after that. But like I said, this is one of the big parts, is removing the bumper, removing the cross member. I'm just giving you cliff notes. I'm not going to go through it because you just got to take your time with it. Yeah, the video could have already been, an hour long, but just giving you the cliff notes. When we get to the meat and potatoes, that's where we'll take our long, sweet time. But crash bar next. And like I said, whatever seems tight, disconnect. And, get her forward. So next video will be with this thing in full service mode, ready to rock and roll. So we've hit the meat and potatoes, the timing belt. Very straightforward. The covers, everything came off real nice. The car is very well taken care of. So here's where the critical notes are going to come in. Where, as you can see, you got a line there in that tooth, the only tooth that has a line, matching with the arrow. It looks off center on camera, but it's there. Take a note at our tensioner here. It's definitely not where the new one's going to be. The new one, this is going to be more towards, that's going to be more towards the notch. I'm going to want that to match with that. And this bottom crank, you can see I scratched and I marked and I scratched where that's at. So we shouldn't be able to screw this up. So at this point, we're ready to 13 mil should be able to loosen our tensioner here, which should only be at 18 foot-pounds. Man, that's tight. So we got that bolt loosened. That nut is free. Now, to loosen this belt, probably going to need our number 8 millimeter to go in here. And we'll kind of free them up, just like that, like butter. So that is now free. Our belt should be loose. Nothing seemed to have moved on us. Oh, we just moved that. but we haven't shifted any cogs. Now we can see we're too low, but that's only because we put pressure on it. Not a big deal. Don't freak out. Don't panic. Because now it's a matter of getting this belt to come off nicely. Gonna need 2 hands, but so I'm gonna get the belt off, then we're gonna undo our water pump. So we got a drain pan set up underneath. We gotta finalize getting this out. The belt did come out easy once I had 2 hands on it. We're back on the tripod now. We got 3 10mm nuts or bolts to. Yeah, brand new gloves and they're already broken. Broken rubber. Not cool. We want to get this water pump out. 3 bolts. I think it's 3 bolts. Then we make a big mess on the ground. This guy, she's moving. She's wiggling. Oh, she's in there. She's in there, all right. Little pry bar. Try and help this guy a little bit. Definitely felt the seal break. And we're dripping. Oops. Right, that's what I was waiting for. Alright. Plastic impellers. Never a fan of these. So anyway, the show must go on. So we will take some Scotch-Brite, clean up that area. It's just an O-ring. It's a simple design. Okay. Shine some light on it, but I think everything's clean. Just want to make sure there's no chunks or anything on it. We almost got her clean. A little bit more. Okay. That should be good. Paper towel. Wipe it down. Cleanliness is number 1. pretty good. All right, so our new water pump from FCP Euro. As you can see, this guy is metal. Way better than factory here with that plastic crap. So we got metal now. So there's no chance of separation, or there shouldn't be any chance of separation when we go to do that. Get her in there. Maybe a little bit of, I don't want to cut this O-ring. So maybe just a little bit of grease to help ease her in there. Not gonna hurt it. Just very. And just put some grease on a paper towel. Just lubricate that O-ring a little bit so it goes in with ease, or easier. Sink her on in. Pretty decent. We'll just work the 10 mils all around. Now these are supposed to get torqued to 11 foot-pounds, which is snug, or just tight enough. Don't go too crazy, or, you know, strip anything out. What we'll do is we'll work her around until is happy. I'll probably do that off camera. Just try and give you guys the cliff notes. I don't know. Let's get the 1/4 inch on it. Got a little up there, a little down here. We want to do it kind of equal. So that O-ring slides nice. We don't want any leaks. So after this will be the 2 idlers. They are different, top and bottom, so you want to pay attention. All right, so now we're actually, that's snug. That felt like 11. 11. 11. One more time. Okay. Okay. And okay. So next up will be the idlers. idlers are a 13 millimeter. We'll start with, I guess, the bottom. I hope you're still in camera view here. Hopefully. I'm going to remove the bottom, which is the one that isn't red. They're color coded. They should be color coded. And with these, we'll go through it in a minute here. But so we got a black one down there. Here's the brand new guy. They are identical in length, identical over there, and identical on the bottom, and threads. So we're going to do both of these. I do want to add a little bit of Loctite for just so there's no chance of any weirdness or backing out, because this is all critical stuff. Don't want anything backing out. So we're going to add a little bit of Loctite to the bottom threads. Clean some of the stuff that just went everywhere. Probably with some spray. So, still got Loctite on the threads, but nothing on the bearing. So we'll put that guy in. We need our 13 over here. So that 13 goes on. And we want to make them tight enough. We will actually torque these, but I want to make sure it's tight enough. I'll tell you the torque in a second here. Because the torques are different. So we got the bottom one. Now we're going to do the top one. Same thing, 13 millimeter. I know some people say to remove this hose, but I don't think we have to. The cover came off easy enough without removing the hose. It's just one less thing that you have to worry about leaking. So I'm gonna remove that one. There's no weird washers or anything holding it up. Again, make sure they spin, obviously. This is the next one. This is all from FCP Euro, so you know it's all good stuff. Again, we just want to compare. We got the dowels on the bottom, flat bearing on top, so we'll move our bolt over to the new one. A little bit of Loctite, just so there's no worries. about anything backing itself off in the future. So I want to hand thread it. And then take our 13. Okay, so torque wrench is coming out. The top idler is going to be 18 foot-pounds. Let me just set myself up for 18 foot-pounds. Top idler, 18 foot-pounds. Beautiful. And the bottom one is 26. So we'll set ourselves up for 26. Awesome. Everything spins nice. With a bigger torque wrench like that, your muscle feel isn't the same like a regular ratchet. So that's why I do a regular ratchet tight enough, and then I just use a torque wrench to ensure that everything is good, everything seems normal and happy. So next up will be our brand new tensioner. So we want that guy to be hanging out in its home. And before I put the nut on with a little bit of Loctite and torque it to 18 foot-pounds, I'm going to work on getting all this stuff pristinely clean. And then I will continue the video when we're getting the belt on, setting our belt tension, which I'm sure I'm going to have to realign the camera to get you in there of what you want to do for proper tension. So once that's done, I will get back to you. So let's try this again. My camera did not record what I wanted it to record with the timing. Don't mind that we're doing a valve cover gasket. That's straightforward, guys. I'm not even going to bother with a video, but this tensioner, if you can see, that guy is like in this notch here. That's pretty much where you want it. Tighten the bolt down to 18, that nut to 18 foot-pounds, and we put Loctite on it. We're good. I started it. It runs great. Everything's tight. No timing codes. At this point, I might do a video just throwing the front end back on. I'm just trying to wrap up. We had a leaky valve cover gasket, as you can see. We got oil in the first 2 cylinders. Everything else is dry. So, but that concludes the timing system part of this job. So again, you know, we can toss that guy in there. We will eventually add fluid in the end. When we remove that water pump, it, you know, it dumped. Crankshaft, I don't know if we talked about that. Crankshaft is also like 17 or 18 foot-pounds. What's a foot-pound difference, right? So you want to torque all those, or just do good and tight so it holds. And that's that. I mean, like I said, I prefer the Loctite because it's just cheap security. But we know I always double. It's a good habit to double check anything you remove on your timing system. Double check it. Double check the torque. Add some Loctite, and life will be good. And, you know, obviously, it's always the same Loctite we always use, the non-permanent stuff. 242, the blue. You don't want that permanent stuff that rips out everything with it or just snaps the bolt in there. But something just to keep her on in. So at this point, I'm going to wrap up what I'm doing here with this valve cover. Like I said, it did have a leak. We really cleaned her up. Got a new gasket on her. Felpro. Nothing special. But I trust the Felpro brand, which replaces the factory, or I believe factory, Audi stuff. Somebody's been in here because I found this Torx bit in the bumper cover. So somebody did something with this once upon a time. Don't know what, but the belt was still factory Audi. It still had the Audi marks on it. And at 100,000, that sounds about right. So we got the Audi all back together. Monitoring our coolant temps. Want to make sure we can hit boost without blowing off any hoses. This thing ain't bad. I like it. But I think we're all good. Like I said, I'm on a time crunch, guys. I got a bunch of other cars to do, and so I'm sorry. If you want more in-depth videos, let me know. But you know, I gave you the nitty-gritty of what you need to do. That's a giant pumpkin. But you know, this thing is ready to go back to the customer, and I got, like I said, a bunch of other cars. If you want more in-depth videos instead of cliff notes of how to do stuff, let me know in the comments. Other than that, you know, I'll keep making videos as I so please to do. So that's all that. Till next time. No lights. Everything's golden. Everything's the way it should be.